There's so many that when I met you, I think I started to really look at my own trajectory and my own grief journey in so many different ways. I think I've shared with you before, but the year that I was born, my mother's mother died. So, and quite tragically, she was killed in a car accident. So there I was as a 1 year old baby, breastfeeding from my mom as she was grieving the loss of her mom. And I feel like that's informed so much of my trajectory of, being brought into this world, ushered into this world at a time of so much gratitude and also so much grief as I am having to think about my mom, having to kind of push forward with three young kids while her heart was broken. And I now look at that as kind of such a pivotal moment, even though I don't remember it, even though it didn't, but it opened me up to this world. And looking back, I feel such a connection with my mother, with my mother's mother through that journey. And I think that what you and I have often talked about is these invisible moments that we don't necessarily recognize, right? These moments that we might not remember, we might not have a big kind of ceremony or celebration around, and yet they are impactful. They change the course of something.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it speaks to how grief is a lifelong process. The cultural message has been for a long time, or was for a long time, that grief is a series of stages we go through and then it's over. Like we move past it, we get beyond it, we let go of our attachment to a loved one, which is not how the human condition experiences grief. We remain, still attached. That love doesn't disappear. And there will be certain junctures over the course of our lives when we will be reminded of that loss, when we will have what we call grief spikes or resurgences of grief. And a lot of those moments are not culturally recognized. In the population of women who lost mothers, there are some very predictable moments that are not acknowledged or have not been until recently, through our work, recognized by the culture. And the big one is reaching and passing a mother's age when she dies. That's a really big deal for women. It plays on them psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, existentially. And we have a name for it in our community. We call it crossing the silent threshold, because women have often a lot of anticipation, anxiety, fear, believing at some very deep level that they will not live beyond that age of their mother's diagnosis if she had an illness, or her age at time of death. And this is something that a lot of women experience, but most of us won't get there till our 60s, 70s, 80s. These women are getting there in their 30s and 40s. My mom was 42 when she died. So young. When I was 17, that seemed really far in the future. But when I was 40, it was like, whoa, that was really young. And when I was 42, I thought, my mom only got half a life. And I had a huge grief response because I couldn't understand that until I got there myself.